I don't have
Welcome
stories.
to Earth,
Yes.
episode 4?
5.
4.
4.
4.
4.
Yeah. So, continuing a conversation on customer service.
It's not my story time, although it's kind of a joint story time.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna share together.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't have any more Dutch Brothers stories.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
I haven't been since the last episode.
Oh, Lord. Really? Look at you doing good.
Yeah, I'm trying. Well, my
Caffeine.
debit card got stolen, so I had no way of re-upping, and caffeine, and then I can't get cash, so I was just like, fuck it. I'll just not spend money. Well, how that worked out. Got my card back. It's like, as fast as can be.
It's like melting.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like a debit card. What does it look like, a hotel key?
It does look like a hotel key.
Yeah. All you viewers can't see this, but for our audience watching, this is the new debit card. It looks like a hotel key.
It does. It does. You hooker.
I am. Yeah. Okay, so no Dutch Brothers stories. However, we tried a new place yesterday, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I don't want to drop
place.
Yeah, let's not drop the name. I don't want to
No,
drop
we
the
won't.
name.
It was a foot place.
I will tell you my experience with the foot was awesome. It made me realize how much I probably do need to detox.
Yeah, all your liver problems and your smoking.
Yeah, and I'm like, how did that come into play? My son.
Free radicals is what I'm looking at. You know,
Yeah.
all that bad stuff you're putting in your body.
So Keegan looks at it and he's like, Mom, what is this? So I explained it to him, right? And he's like, smoking. He's like, have you been smoking? And I was like, no, dude, I have not been smoking. Why that's associated with all this, I don't know.
Well, because it's toxins in your body.
Well, yeah, it seeped through my skin the 3 hours I was with you.
Well, that's your own damn fault. You should wear long sleeves.
I had to wash my hair like 4 times.
Yeah, that's why I only go when it's shampoo day.
Yeah, that's another story I have to tell you about. My question I got from my husband about why we do that.
Whatever. Okay,
so
whatever.
we went to this- we went to
sidetracked too hard.
That's okay.
So we went to this foot place, and we did foot detoxes. And the little dude at the counter,
He was nice.
he was nice. He was very nice.
Overly nice.
But he was like an awkward nice, where he's like, he didn't quite have life together.
It's one of those situations where you're like, are we about to get TMI?
Yes, he totally, I feel like he would have overshared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he handed me that form and he was like, oh, it just fell out, your name, number, whatever, and then he hands you the tablet. And I'm like, what the, we should get the tablet. Like, I should just sign the paper too. Like,
Well,
it's
yeah,
not
and then
that
it had
hard.
the little bumper protection on it. I was like, did you borrow this from your child? Is there a child sitting back there?
And then he hands it to me, he's like, or you hand it to me, like, oh, you have to fill it out too, which I filled mine out online when I made the appointment.
Oh.
So, like, mine was already done.
Who
But he
knows?
hands it to me, and I go to hit register for yours so that yours processes, and it dies.
Yeah. For one, you didn't check that.
And he's like, they just opened. They'd been open for an hour, right?
Oh, I thought you meant like that day was the first time they'd ever opened. I was like, no.
No, they'd been open for like an hour. So you figure, like, these are things that you would check, like, make sure the person at night.
Like I said, it had kid bumpers on
it.
it, so I'm sure it's probably somebody's child's.
No, it's probably the company's.
I don't know.
And they just put that on there because so many people have to handle it. Like, what if somebody drops it? And that's the only one you got. So it dies, and he's, like, hitting the button. And I was like, oh, man, I broke it. And then he, like, takes it and tosses it on the counter. He's like, oh, it died. And then we're sitting on the couch waiting, and there's a TV hanging on the wall, and he turns it on, and it is loud as fuck.
I didn't hear it.
I did. Okay, I was sitting
But it
right under
scared
the
you.
speaker, so
Yeah.
it was loud. So it did startle me. And then he cracks some joke about, like, oh, I was secretly hoping it would scare you. Like,
Creeper.
dude,
Super creeper.
what are you doing?
He said something else before that, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, then he went into, like, the shows that he likes watching.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and he does parkour.
What is that?
It's where people, like, jump and do flips and stuff. And they jump off things and, like, jump up things. And
It's called parkour?
yeah. You ever seen those little, like, joke videos where people just, like, do a half-ass jump and they're like, parkour? Or they, like, jump off a chair and they're like, parkour.
No. I have
Oh.
a 3-year-old. I'm not on my phone that much.
It was like, you lie?
Well, I'm not on video watching. I'm not like my husband.
And it was like a early 2000s, mid 2000s, like, huge trend.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have a cell phone then.
Huge trend.
I didn't watch videos.
So,
My life was easier.
so there is there is so much thing is too much.
The boundaries of customer service. At what point are you friendly but not overly friendly? Like, it's one thing to compliment somebody on something of their appearance, not necessarily.
Oh, yeah,
like,
he liked your hair.
Yeah, he did. Like, I'm telling you, the statistics of people liking my hair now is increasing with the men and less with the women.
Yeah.
And it's getting more frequent with the men the lighter my hair gets. When it was so blue and so purple, not so much.
Yeah, this like faded pastel mermaid you got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about mixing brown in it instead of pink. I don't know. I haven't decided.
I told you, I sent you those pictures where it was brown and blue.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, this is what you need to do.
Yeah,
Less blondes.
You should.
Hashtag hate on the blondes.
Yeah, of course you would. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. So, where are the boundaries with customer service when it comes to being friendly or overly friendly?
Yeah, I don't know.
You just know what makes you uncomfortable.
You got to read the room, man. You got to read the room. Like, just because you have colored hair and I have tattoos doesn't... And you couldn't even see my tattoos, so I don't even know. What made me seem approachable?
It's your hair.
My hoodie said nope.
Yeah. Maybe it's an ironic type thing. There's an irony to it. Maybe that's why. Oh, well, he did say
they
liked
thought
your
I was
sweatshirt.
hipster.
There you go. Yeah. But I will tell you, with that whole entire experience, the part that I struggled with was the whispering when we got into the room to actually go do.
Oh, yeah.
I could barely hear her, and I was trying to hear her, and then I apparently forgot things. She's like, put your sunglasses in the bucket. I was like, okay. And then I had a hard time sitting like that. That hurt my knee.
Yeah, I had to I pushed my little bucket out as far as it would go.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
And had to scoot down a little bit so then your head wasn't on the pillowed area.
Yeah, then my back started hurting, and I'm sitting here instead of relaxing, going, what the fuck is this 30 minutes up? We're probably only halfway. We're probably 5 minutes in, and I'm in so much pain.
You could have stopped at any point.
I could have, but I was like, no.
Yeah, it was definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting to be sitting.
Yeah,
with your feet,
like when you do a pedicure.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, not laying down. And not at dark. As soon as I realized it was dark, I was like, I can't talk.
Well, you could. There was nobody else in there besides you.
There was.
She came in later.
Yeah, at one point. And then that man went in before us for his
Yeah, he specifically asked for a private room.
for his everything massage. Hey, there is a sign on the door that says no happy endings.
Oh, that was
with a little police officer on it.
That was the best. You walk up to the door. This place has no happy endings.
In quotations, no happy endings.
This shit was awesome.
It was great. Yes. But anyways, other than that, and I don't know what happened because by the time we left, 40 minutes that whole thing took? Home dude was leaving. He was like, hey, yeah, sorry, yes. Hope you had a nice time. Bye. And he was out the door.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention.
I don't know. When we came out, that lady was...
Well, I saw the little lady that we paid with, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. There is a thing is too much. You read the room. You got to read the room.
But some people don't read the room.
You got to read the room.
They assume.
I understand some people don't have the ability to read the room either. I understand that. But maybe you shouldn't be working in a front desk. Well,
there's that, and then you got to think about your clients. You've dealt with some clients where what was the story that happened not too long ago? Oh, poor our PIN situation. The whole PIN situation where the husband and wife owned the company, and the wife basically took no responsibility for any of the problems and then just decided to divulge all the business issues they're having.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's customer service, I guess, in reverse.
I don't care if you didn't properly train your employees.
I just want my shit. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, it's a fine line.
Hey, we don't need your life story.
I dance on the line often. I dance on the line.
Yeah, but you don't ever say anything that's super inappropriate.
And I can usually tell if I'm making somebody uncomfortable, and then I'll make a comment about making them uncomfortable to make it more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yesterday I was just uncomfortable. You kept engaging, and I was trying to ignore. That was the problem. You egged it on so he didn't shut up.
He wasn't going to shut up anyways. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He didn't have to make a comment about scaring me. He could have just been like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was that loud. And then just gone about his business. But, yeah. This is a Taylor Lautner movie. Parkour in it. I don't know.
I have no idea. All I know is that, like, if you work front desk, flirting is not necessarily, like, customer service. Carrying on a conversation.
Is that flirting?
I'm pretty sure it was his flirting.
Oh. He has mommy issues. Okay.
Lord. Okay. So, yeah, if anyone's got a fun story. So, basically, keep personal information to yourself. Be kind and funny and nice if you want, but, yeah, no TMI. So, let's talk about your wonderful booking skills. Or lack thereof.
No.
You suck.
I do not suck.
You're getting close.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. How many events in a day are we booking now? Like 6?
2?
How many? Yeah, no. It's definitely
2
not
for most days, but some of them don't count because they're basically like a set it and forget it.
It's still an event. It still counts, especially if you have to change anything.
Yeah, but you don't. You reset chairs. Stick a person with the soundboard.
Yeah, I mean, I trained you, but I'm not sure that you took
Did
my
you?
training. I did. I talked to you about it.
You talked to me about it.
We trained. I told you the things you have to consider is you're looking at the whole week, how many flips you got to do with the staffing that we have.
I got run of shows for months. Literally. Yeah, I do. I like have the events and I'm like, okay, this room stays the same for the first 3 weeks and then the last week it changes. Literally. Yeah. If you look at it at a whole, I can bring it to you. I got a spreadsheet.
That's what you've been working on all this time is this spreadsheet?
No. It's written in a notebook, but I can put it in a spreadsheet if that's easier. I can make a PowerPoint.
You don't know how to use PowerPoint or Excel.
Yeah, huh?
Well, you know how to use Excel, but you don't know how to use PowerPoint.
I know the basics of PowerPoint, okay? I can make, like, slides. I can make slides.
All right.
I can make them transition, like how in the 90s it was like, doo-doo-doo, coming out of the corner.
People still do it. That's the
Yeah,
downside. They haven't
I know.
updated PowerPoint. Okay, so let's talk booking in general. Let's talk booking in general. All right. So let's say you have a event. Well, we could take today's event for example. A setup day. Then you also have to consider tear down, and if you're doing a flip for later on, or multiple flips. Like, where in your mind do you draw the line and say, I have to say no to this one? Like, at one point, if you're looking at a September calendar, let's say any September calendar, and you already know there's 3 or 4 events on one date.
I said no earlier today.
You don't always have to say yes. We've talked about this.
Yes. Listen,
You don't,
I
yes,
said no
when-
earlier today
that was
because
the best
I
thing
looked
we
at
ever
September.
heard. When did saying yes all the time become the standard in customer service for booking? When?
Yeah.
That was the best.
Before me.
No. You don't
Hey,
have to
listen,
say yes.
I said no earlier today.
That's one day out of how many?
I said no.
One day out of how many?
I said no.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I said
It does
no.
matter. Yeah, but that's an event I would rather have than the ones that are on the books, probably.
No. They're still gonna do it. They just moved it to October.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, like September 11th, I'm not booking anything on September 11th. That's ridiculous. Unless it's September 11th related, right?
We
like,
always do events on September 11th.
We're not going to.
Who's driving the ship these days?
And then football.
Because if there's a way to generate revenue, we're doing an event.
And then football,
Okay.
right? And then looking at September as a whole, it's already pretty busy. So, like, who gonna want to work on Saturday? Because it's a Saturday.
You.
Nope.
You.
I mean, I will.
You will.
I know I will. So then I had already given them dates for October for Saturday, right? They hadn't asked about September before. Looking at September as a whole, I was like, yeah, probably not a good idea to book anything after this super busy week that we're fixing to have. Right? Right? So my thought process wasn't too jacked up.
It's still slightly. You're going to burn out all the staff.
No.
And then when you get burnt out and you're like, I need more than one mental health day a month, I'm going to look at you and be like, sorry, Fo. It's your own fault.
I just need one. Because if you look at it, September and October, super busy. November, meh. December, meh.
November never is. First week usually, but
Like, January, eh. February, holy shit. Like,
You know, that's
If everybody could stop wedding the same dates, like, I don't know what's special. What is so special about those, like, 2 weeks in February that everybody wants? What's going on?
school's already
What
started.
is so special?
They've given people a time to acclimate to being back in classes, and then they start.
Do the first week of February.
Wait, but
Do the first week of March.
okay, you need to simmer because you overbook 1 month, and now you're like, pick a different day.
Well, I just don't understand why everybody wants, like, what? There's got, I don't know, is everybody's brain linked up and they're all like, oh, this is a good day? Like,
Sometimes. So I want to look at it from a different perspective. So if you book, maybe not so much the booking skills and lack of skills for booking, but let's say you work for a venue where you book events, but they have an in-house caterer they're required to use. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And they don't communicate the bookings that they make to said caterer ever. So, like, they don't find out till, like, a week before the event or 2 weeks before the event.
Or a couple of days before the event.
Yes, or that.
Yeah.
So let's look at booking skills from that side. How would, if you were that caterer, communicate to that person that they suck, for one, and two, how to communicate better?
I don't know, because, yeah, that's just bad communication skills. One of the places my dad used to work as a banquet chef had issues with that all the time. The lady booking the weddings and booking the events would never tell him 3-4 days before the event. She'd be like, oh, hey, did you get the menu? What's the menu for this event? And he's like, what are you talking about? That wasn't part of my ordering. You never told me. So then he was scrambling last minute to put together a menu.
That right there is something I feel like we have to talk about, is the fact that people booking events don't understand how early you really truly need to talk to a caterer, because they don't just have the food on hand 24/7 and you pick, especially if you're doing custom menus.
Yeah.
They're going to order in. So you have to give them, most of the time, if they're going to order for your event, well, scheduling, staffing is always an issue. I would say at minimum, I think we always used to do 2 weeks, because it gives them a week to figure out what they're going to do, what the menu is, and then a week to order, and then come in and also prepare the food. So, telling someone the day, it's not like going to a restaurant. They just don't keep inventory in stock for certain things.
Well, that's the thing. Restaurant, yeah, sure, maybe a little bit, because they're only serving those things on the menu.
Right.
It's not a custom menu anytime somebody orders. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I get a booking and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to use this caterer, I usually wait about a week, if it's like within the month. Wait a week. If I don't hear anything from the caterer that they chose, I reach out to them and I'm just like, hey, are y'all doing this event? Have y'all heard anything? And then sometimes they hadn't, and so then they can reach out and be like, hey, what's going on, guys? Y'all need some food?
Well, the thing that hurt that too is the ability to online book for catering, is because they don't have a cutoff. Now, they can block out windows on certain catering, programs on the calendar, so they can't book something, and then of course the client then goes down a downward spiral of freaking out and who are they going to use when they put it off. So, like, as soon as you confirm what you're doing and you confirm with the speakers and everything, the next people you should be communicating with is your facility and your caterer. And then the other stuff you can figure out as you go, but you have to get on people's radar. So, coming back to the booking skills, do I need to start attending event meetings so I know what the fuck is going on and take control back?
You said you didn't want to know what was going on.
Well, I don't, but I'm concerned about what you're doing to the rest of our staff. You're going to burn them out. September's going to be scary.
No, September's going to be fine. There's going to be plenty of days that the staff can take off.
Good Lord. Okay. Well, that's fun. All right. So at least you've figured it out. Slowly figuring it out. Okay. So let's branch off that and talk about events that are overplanned. In the sense that you don't listen to the experts, or you try to plan for every possible freaking scenario and it's just not necessary.
And then forget the water.
Okay, so I only briefly know about this, so you have to fill me in.
No, I mean, You don't have breakfast and you have like coffee and orange juice, no water. Like some people like to do, I know they're out there. They like to drink water in the morning. It's very weird. It's a strange concept to me, but they do like to drink water in the morning.
Maybe they assume because there's a water fountain?
Yeah. But people like, yeah, I don't know. There were people walking around with bottles of water asking where the water fountains were so they could fill them up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that's all it is. Like, there's water with some of your day. Like, when you get a break, you can have water. You can't have water in the morning. We didn't order water. But yeah, we planned for like
400 people.
Was that the final number? I thought it was like 800.
The final number was like 250. Yeah, 250, 260, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in the sense of over planning, let's use said event as an example. This started, what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
A year and a half ago. So my problem with certain events is when you go to a facility. All right, they tell you what capacities are, right? Mm-hmm. And they tell you specifically that, let's say you have, I don't know, 1,100 seat theater or auditorium, whatever you may have. But the space that you have available to feed people is only like 500. At what point does it register that you probably can't do the meals here if you're going to have 1,100 people? If you're not going to do
why
an
can't
open
we do
reception?
them outside?
They don't pay for a tent. They don't pay for a tent. That's an extended cost, which honestly, this group has money, so that really shouldn't have been no problem. But they don't want to pay for a tent because it's the summer and we don't know what the weather's going to be like. I mean, it's beautiful out.
It's beautiful, yeah.
They could definitely have done it outside.
Wouldn't have even needed a tent today.
Probably not. Yeah. So, so you start from the beginning. You're planning this event basically 6 months to a year out, which is not very often that I have to deal with people like that. But when you're dealing with like 4 different entities, you know, security has a part, and you know, there's a person who likes to be the in-between, doesn't really have a role, but she makes herself important. More like she just makes herself a pain in the ass. And then you have the organization that's actually hosting the event, trying to do it in conjunction with somebody else. I don't do events by committees very well.
No shit.
Ever.
Not even small ones.
No, not even, I don't do committees well. In fact, if I feel like it's a committee that's happening, I'm definitely passing that event off. I just can't. Because there's too many people trying to make decisions when one person just needs to be the end all. Mm-hmm. And there's never anybody willing to do that. Because God forbid something goes wrong and then it comes back, well, you said this and you said that, and you know, whatever.
We got to be a democracy here.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so we're over planning. They're telling you that you're not going to be able to, you know, accommodate 1,100 people to feed them. You've given them alternative options. But those options aren't good enough because it requires, I talk with my hands. Those alternative options are not good enough because it doesn't keep everybody same location. Busing would be just too hard. And then with security and credentials and having to rescan people and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, again, overcomplicating it. The biggest concern was the amount of people the traffic that would come through that building. Well, let's say that building is a standalone and they've rented the whole facility. Ain't nobody coming through that building but you. Ain't nobody coming through that building but you. So what are you worried about? Months and months of going back and forth and no one making a decision. And I just, it's overkill. And at some point it's just like, we got it. We can do it. Just make a decision and roll with it.
Yeah.
So then you get to the days.
And also lower your numbers.
Yes. Lower your numbers. Be more realistic. Like, for an event as such, I can't imagine, especially during all the COVID shit we've been dealing with. Even if you take that scenario out of the mix, if it's not a concert or the concrete event in Vegas.
Yes, the concrete expo.
I don't think you're going to get 1,100 people in one place on this specific topic. I'd be very shocked. So, I mean, that's, far-reaching. But at what point do you just say, okay, whoa, pump the brakes, like, cut me out of the loop? Which I did. And I passed it on because I just couldn't do it anymore. To probably one of the better people that can handle just
a little bit more patience than
yes. You. Good Lord, I have zero patience anymore. But the thing, the thing that's frustrating is when you overplan things like this, you can do it in a nice way where it's easy to communicate and have an actual conversation and discuss things. But when you decide to just be like a massive bitch and shove the stick further and further up your ass, no, like I'm done. Right? Nothing you say to me will make me want to be nicer to you.
I want to see their communication matrix. Like, what was their risk management planning? What did that look like?
Who knows? I don't think they even did it. I think they left it to the security experts here to figure that out. Because at one point we were doing stuff in said facility, and then we were going to be moving them to breaking the group into different small breakouts because we didn't have the space to accommodate the individual.
Which means it shouldn't have been here.
I kept trying to say that.
It's fine. It's fine, man.
We're
moving
problem.
forward.
No, we are moving
forward.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you're not listening to the experts that are telling you, this is great, we would love to support this. However, this is not something that's necessarily conducive to doing in this space because you don't necessarily fit in this space. It's like trying to put a round peg into a square hole or the other way around, whatever the
It's like me trying to get in my jeans this weekend.
Dude, that's how I feel every morning trying to get in my pants.
Or rip the thigh out of them.
Oh, man. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when that happened.
You were there.
When it actually happened?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I?
Was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
No, it was Jeff.
You told me about... My husband looks like a woman. I don't know the difference anymore.
Well, I hardly ever see either one of you, so...
That's a lie. Remember, work wife. I see you all the time. Yeah, so, but like... When do you listen to the experts? When do you someone a light bulb goes off and says, you know what, maybe we should be listening to these people because this is what they do for a living. This is their job.
And it's the same thing in catering.
Yes.
Like when catering tells you, we can't do this, you got to listen to them. Or if they recommend, hey, maybe have a different drink alternative for breakfast.
Was that recommendation made? That was going to be my next question earlier when I
I'm
talked
sure
to you.
it was.
I don't know.
Their sales team,
You never know.
Unless the client went in there and was like, I want this, 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 and there was like no talk about it.
If it's the client, I think it is, then probably.
So yeah. And then it turns around and like makes catering look bad, and then everybody's like, oh, like the other place we were at, it was better. We should have had them. And then it's like a whole ordeal, and it's like,
Did they really say that? They should have had them?
No, but I'm just saying, like a snowball effect.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Or what ifing it?
Well, absolutely. But if you're doing an on-site catering at a hotel, and then you go off-site for a different portion of that said 3-day conference, it's going to be different anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's off-site. Off-premise, people are taking shit with them versus making things in-house.
Yeah. I'm not arguing with you about it.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm educating our listeners, the 3 that we have.
They already know.
Yeah. So overplanned events. It's a pain in the ass and I hate it. Because then my favorite part too is at the end of it when shit goes wrong and you told them that was probably going to happen and they're like, oh, we should listen to you and be like, mm-hmm.
Do you want me to make you a poster? I can make you a poster
A
where
Venn
I
diagram.
told you so.
The vid diagram of all the times I told you so.
This is what I told you. This is what you said. This is where we didn't agree on anything. And this is what went wrong.
So if you've ever dealt with an overplanned event, who are the people that you feel like, have you dealt with an overplanned event? I'm sure you have.
Me?
Yeah, you. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, tons of committees.
Okay. Which portion of that committee, like what role is usually the issue? Like, is it marketing? Is it the actual client, the event planner? Or is it, a boss of the event planner who has no idea how it works?
I feel
Who tends to be the more...
like it's the entire group because it all works together, right? Like either the boss...
They don't work together. That's why there's issues.
So it's the whole team. So if the boss who's calling all the shots would just make a decision versus having the team who doesn't want to speak up and say, no, that's wrong. And so they just agree with what are. So why do you need, if they're just going to agree with you, why do you need them here? If they're just going to agree, they don't need to be here. You just make the decision. I can agree with you. Be like, yep, 1 + 1 is 5. That's right. Let's go with it. Like, you know.
Yeah. I think my favorite people are the marketing people.
It's like they enable each other.
They do. Yeah. I think my favorite is the marketing people because they always go to the extremes and you have to bring them back down to reality. Yeah. And they don't get it.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marketing is the worst, I feel. And then, the event planner who's unwilling to say boo to their boss or to anyone. Yeah.
no.
No. No's an okay answer.
So yeah.
Yes did
That's
not
fine.
become the end all in the events industry. You do not have to say yes to everything.
No, you have to be like politically correct about it.
You can find
Where you have
other
to be like,
alternatives. You can
yeah,
find other ways to
see?
help
There you
provide
go.
a solution, but there are some things that are just a flat out no, like
Yeah.
safety issues. When people have to exit, you cannot block exits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. So anyway, so it's like an overplanned event, but they focus on all of these other areas and then forget.
The water for catering in the morning with breakfast.
Yes. Like, why? So they're focusing on all these other things and they just forget. Like, oh, we don't even know about that. Oh, parking? Pfft, what's that? Like, not that that has happened recently, but you know, there's like, you're focusing on so many other things that you're not actually focusing on the event.
No. Which only leads me to believe that if you have to have a committee plan an event, then whoever your event planner is not very qualified.
Yeah. They should get some certifications.
Yeah. We got lots of them. We can know. We can tell you.
All of them.
All of them.
Would not call myself an expert, though.
No, not an expert.
Just opinionated.
Learn from mistakes. Trial and error on the job.
Nah.
All right, so no idea what we're talking about next time because we didn't really remember today anyway. So for those listening, thanks for winging it with us. We out?
We out.
We out.
Deuces.
Deuce.